When I was in school, I was great. I was the straight A student, never had any problems, honor roll, and that's what I did. I had no problems with reading or any other subjects. I understood the value of reading. My mother was education, my father was psychology, and that was kind of it. We did the school, we did the education, we did the reading, we did the learning at a very early age, and it was something I kind of picked up on pretty easily. Well, when I finally held Gregory, I was just, elated. New mother, little baby boy, and I was just happy to have him. I kind of wanted to start a plan for education really early. We started counting and ABCs and everything at one, so that he could be able to pick up things, as he went along. Because, the first 5 years is when if you grab it the first 5 years, then you're on the right track. By the time Gregory was 2, he could count to 30, he knew his ABCs, so he was on a good track. And I just needed something. He didn't have a love for it like I did, though. So it was a little bit more difficult because he didn't necessarily want to do it. Well, I needed something to be able to grasp his attention. 20 years ago, my younger sister had trouble reading. And so my parents ordered the Hooked on Phonics system. And 20 years ago, it wasn't all the DVDs and, all that stuff. It was the cassette tapes with the little books, but she loved it. And after a short amount of time, she wasn't in remedial reading courses anymore. And I said, you know what? I bet that's what we need. And so I kind of searched around, found the Hooked on Phonics program, found out how to order it, and ordered it. And I put the DVD in, and the first time Gregory was like, wow! He's in front of the TV dancing around and really enjoying it. It wasn't, come on, Gregory, sit down anymore. He's like, okay, Mama, are we going to read today? Are we going to do this today? So it changed the whole dynamics of the situation. We've only had it for 2 months. So he's only been on it probably about 60 days. But he's getting the 3-letter words down, and he's, sounding them out, and he's giving it a go for it. I'm pretty proud of him. To me, I think it's a reward for children to be able to look back and say, I accomplished that myself. Nobody helped me. I was able to put my best foot forward, and I did it all by myself. I've seen a change in a lot of areas in his life. I can read, so he's like, okay, I can do that. So let's take my training wheels off my bike. Let's see if I can do that, Let's take this on. And so he's venturing out a little bit more in other areas, just beyond education. I think that he's grasping a genuine love for actually reading, and that means a great deal for his education all around. His pre-K teacher is like, I just cannot believe he does so well, and it really makes you feel proud, to know that he's doing so well and everybody can see it. Gregory gets excited after reading one page. He reads a page and he's like, come on, Mom, let's do another page, and we get through a book and he is so proud of himself. It just gives me like this big sense of joy. I can't even explain it, but it makes you feel good. I believe that it will shorten the time for other homework, for other activities that may have been tedious before, just because they'll have a better plan for how to actually go about learning. Without the edge in this world today, you're not going to get anywhere. I believe that Gregory will advance from this early education that we've started him on, and that is what makes me feel good about the situation that we chose. I think we're still letting them be kids. All you're doing is letting them play and reading. And it's setting a foundation just for learning in general. Learning doesn't have to be boring. Learning doesn't have to be tedious. It can be fun and it can be exciting. And I think that's what the Hooked on Phonics system kind of helps along with for Gregory. It doesn't take very long at all. The program, it's certain like increments, maybe 15-minute increments or something like that, and it runs through. So it's not time consuming. They get a lot of information in a short amount of time, and it's fun, so they don't really realize the amount of information they're receiving. I think anybody can do it. There's no special background, no special education that you need to have. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You pop in the DVDs or you follow the instructions, and it's set out for you right there. It's simple and easy. My sister cannot believe that the system has come so far from when it was, 20 years ago. If he's working on the system and Auntie comes in, she says, Auntie did this. Auntie did this too. Whenever I was your age, Auntie did this too. So my mother is elated, because she's just as proud as Gregory's dad is, and she's always talking about, Gregory's doing this and Gregory's learning this and look what Gregory can do. So anything that gives him an edge, she's all about it. I have, whenever anyone has approached me with the questions of, how did you get him to read? Or how is he, sounding out the words so well? I go ahead and say, well, we ordered the Hooked on Phonics system and he likes it. Since he likes it, he does it. And there it is. For parents that may feel like this investment is too much, I just say stop and think about the benefits that it will give your child in the long run. Stop and think about the accomplishments and the self-confidence that it will put into your child, and I promise the investment is worth it. In my opinion, Hooked on Phonics is an essential building block for learning, starting at any age. Being the building block that it has been for him will allow him to be able to understand the importance of continuing education, understand the importance of actual learning and reading in general. If there was one thing that I would want to share about my experience with Hooked on Phonics, it would have to be that it's fun. It's educational, and we know the benefit as moms and dads. We know what it's, setting a foundation, but our kids just think it's fun, and that makes them want to learn.